Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to put my face on camera. It's very late, obviously. It's 20 past 12. And it is the 15th of the 1st, 2021. Listen, there's 5 days now. 5 days until, hopefully, Donald Trump's going to pull a magical rabbit out the hat. Do I believe in QAnon? No, I don't. I have seen what I have seen over many years, 4 years now, of the absolute vilification and destruction of this man and his ideals and his values, along with 80 million American people, along with many, many people across the planet at the moment that believe in Donald Trump. I've seen all of this go on, and I'm seeing something different, maybe. I may say about this, I may talk about this on on Saturday. There are a lot of people out there that are doing certain things and saying certain things and getting clicks and likes and earning money through YouTube. I'm going to name and shame these cunts. I am. Only because I can, and I will do. This is something now that is becoming... It's something completely different, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't QAnon. This is Donald Trump possibly trying to save his children's and grandchildren's future. This man is going to be resigned to the dustbin of history as the worst president ever, because the media said so. Social media said so. The only collusion that I've seen so far, the only election interference I've seen so far would be the mainstream leftist media and the leftist social media. Now I'm going to play you something now. It had 5,000 views. This is Fox News. This is Lou Dobbs. There are a few still that uphold the values of what you believe to be freedom of speech. Lou Dobbs is one of them. There are others, obviously. Tucker Carlson, etc. But I thought, you know what I'll do? I'm going to play this for you because this needs to be said. Now, declassification of documentation that is known to be by the president, that he's got the facts and figures in front of him, then surely we should be able to declassify and put this out for the people. Is this a precursor? I just wonder. Is it a precursor to what's going to go on over the weekend? If you can understand, right-wing violence, really? Right-wing violence. There's never any right-wing violence, although the media would like to perpetuate the myth that there is right-wing violence. 30,000 troops, apparently 20 or 30,000 troops are now in Washington, D.C., surrounding the White House, Capitol Hill. The National Guard has been pulled out, and they're in the other 49 states around the country. This is not through right-wing violence. I believe at the moment the FBI have put out, this is a ruse. It's a ruse. The FBI has said that these people are going to come out. We saw CNN the other day. It could be drones with bombs. It could be this, that, and the other. All this bullshit going on, right? It won't be the right doing this. I think they're literally defending the American people against the leftist tyranny. That's what I think. This isn't Q. This is what I've seen with my own eyes. The evidence of the Capitol building being taken over by who exactly? Well, I've seen all sorts of videos. Now, when you understand that the FBI put out a post, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, and said, listen, any videos you got, any photographs you got, get into us, we're going to investigate this. Even CNN today said this was pre-planned. What has that got to do with Donald Trump? Why has Donald Trump now then been accused of insurrection when his speech said nothing about insurrection? The timeline doesn't compute, does it? The timeline is people were trying to break in to Capitol Hill before Donald Trump made his speech. Now, I could go on, but I'm going to do this on Saturday, right? I need you to understand exactly what goes on. And I know there's only a few people here. Listen, share it, spread it, share it. Put it in groups, do what you've got to do. This is going to be Lou Dobbs tonight on Fox News. Very, very interesting that Donald Trump is going to declassify all documents pertaining to Obamagate. This is on the news. You won't see it on CNN. You won't see it on ABC, MSNBC. You won't see it on Sky News, the BBC. You won't see it anywhere, actually. Right? You won't see it anywhere. And Fox News, as far as I can see so far, there are at least two other, Tucker Carlson, right? Tucker Carlson. There's a few people there that still speak the truth when they can. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this. My head is telling me Donald Trump is going to do something. My heart is telling me it's all over. All right? My head is telling me. And I'm going to say to you this. If I thought that banks wouldn't deal with me anymore, if I thought the PGA would take it away from my golf course, if I thought that the people that supported Trump have been taken off of planes because they support Trump, all of these things, they've lost their jobs, all of these things that have gone on since the 6th, and the media narrative of insurrection, when all I saw, literally, via patriotic American people, was they walked in, they took photographs, they walked back out. Around the front of the building, all hell broke loose. We've seen videos of a police car, 2 unmarked black SUVs and 3 white buses full of what we believe to be now leftists supporting Antifa. We've seen a black man, I forget his name, inside that is now claiming he's a journalist with a Trump hat on. Black Lives Matter. I've heard Black Lives Matter being shouted inside the building. I've seen what you have seen, ladies and gentlemen. So don't believe for 1 minute that the FBI, the CIA, the National Security Agency, all of these people haven't seen the same thing. Please. And out of 100% of people so far that have been arrested, 50% of these people are known leftists. Someone sorted this. And before Donald Trump's speech was over, it was already being infiltrated. This is not the words of Donald Trump that caused this so-called riot and insurrection. And even CNN News and others right now are talking about the fact that this is pre-planned. Pre-planned. If it was pre-planned, then what did Donald Trump's speech have to do with anything to do with walking down to Capitol Hill to have your voices heard? So I think there's enough of you on right now. Actually, there isn't. It's gone to 62. Look, fucking Facebook, you dirty cunts. I'm going to play you a video right now, and hopefully you'll be able to understand what goes on. There are only a few media sources out there at the moment that will report the truth, right? Fox News isn't what it's cracked up to be anymore. And since Joe Biden has become president-elect, they've become very leftist-leaning. You know that. I've seen that. They need their viewers. They need adverts played. They need to earn revenue. I understand. But there's a few there still. Hannity, Carlson, Dobbs. There's only a few. So on that being said, I'm going to give you now, this is half hour long, I'm going to loop the cunt and play it all fucking night is what I'm going to do. Because I'm fed up with this narrative being pushed by the left. But they've got the majority share of the media platforms. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm hoping Mr. Trump is going to come out and do something, because this man has got the troops that he needs now to instill something and to install something and to arrest people that have actually caused what I believe to be a coup d'etat. It's a coup. Via the government, the Democrats, obviously, via social media and the fucking media. All of these people's heads should roll. But we'll see. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to put the video on. Right? Enjoy this. I'm going to leave it looping all night. Fuck yeah. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Good evening, everybody. Dramatic new developments to report this evening. First, President Trump is declassifying top secret documents, all related to Obamagate. That is the coordinated and years-long spying against a presidential candidate and ultimately the President of the United States and his administration, that of Donald J. Trump. We'll have the shocking details. Just the News Editor-in-Chief John Solomon will join us on this important story here this evening. And outrageous assault on free speech in this country by the radical left, by big tech, social media, Wall Street, and the left-wing media itself. President Trump released a video message in which he blasted big tech's efforts to silence him and his 75 million supporters.
I also want to say a few words about the unprecedented assault on free speech we have seen in recent days. These are tense and difficult times. The efforts to censor, cancel, and blacklist our fellow citizens are wrong, and they are dangerous. What is needed now is for us to listen to one another, not to silence one another.
The president's message comes as Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey released a bizarre string of tweets in which he tried to wax philosophical about the, quote, noble ideal of the internet and how he is striving to be better. Sickening farce on the part of Dorsey, who defended Twitter's decision, that is, his decision, to permanently ban President Trump on Twitter, saying this, quote, I believe this was the right decision for Twitter. That said, having to ban an account has real and significant ramifications. Dorsey, you better believe it does, and you're about to experience them. Twitter is one of 14 big tech and social media companies that have deplatformed the President of the United States and his 75 million voters. Companies that are answerable to no one other than their shareholders, public companies, acting on ill-defined and arbitrary policies and no principles that have been justified either in law or in corporate boardrooms anywhere in the country. This showdown over big tech censorship of conservative voices, of conservatives, and whomever chose to vote for President Trump have put this country on a knife's edge of division. The social media site Parler argued before a Carter-appointed federal judge that Amazon's decision to remove it from the Amazon servers violated antitrust law. Fox News correspondent Dan Springer with the report from Seattle, where the court battle between Parler and Amazon is playing out.
This hearing lasted about 30 minutes, and now we wait for the ruling. And basically, the judge has to decide whether or not to issue a temporary restraining order that would force Amazon to put Parler back on. Argued that the events of January 6th changed the way we think about the world, took what was merely hypothetical and made it chillingly real. Amazon had every right after that happened with the surge in content, violent content on Parler, to take that into content. Parler has grown rapidly in recent months and now has 15 million users, many coming over from Twitter after President Trump's account was blocked. The company's lawyer argued today that there is no evidence that Parler had anything to do with the criminal behavior at the Capitol. David Grossbeck also said today millions of law-abiding Americans have had their voices silenced by Amazon Web Services. The company's CEO says Amazon is caving to political pressure from the left.
You go back as far as September, and Amazon was offering us investment opportunities into our company, financial, by joining their investment programs. So I know this wasn't Amazon saying they had a long-standing disagreement with us.
Hearing the case is federal judge Barbara Rothstein, who was appointed by Jimmy Carter in 1980. She would be considered a liberal activist judge, but that might actually help Parler in this case. In 1990, she overturned a federal law that made it a crime to burn the American flag. She ruled that burning an American flag is protected free speech.
And free speech we must protect. Let's hope that the federal judiciary, as corrupt as it has proved to be, will find agreement with the Constitution. Thank you, Dan Springer from Seattle. Big tech isn't the only group that the radical Dems possessed who censor dissent. Socialist Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is now blaming the media, the national left-wing media, for last week's Capitol Hill chaos, and is calling on government to rein in the press.
I do think that several members of Congress in some of my discussions have brought up media literacy, because that is a part of what happened here. We're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation.
Well, the disinformation of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, those narratives that accompany their street violence, doesn't seem to provoke any curiosity on the part of either AOC or anyone on the left, especially on the far left. The left's push, the radical Dems push, to silence conservatives, stifle free speech, and destroy dissent in this country reminds some of the Gadsden flag that isn't flying in many quarters of about half of the country right now. How about this one as a counter? Please tread lightly, with a man kneeling, and the words, please, please, pretty please, tread lightly. It seems to better represent the state of much of the country in this 21st century and the utter indifference to the destruction of the Constitution and the abridgment of nearly all of our rights. Well, in addition to calling out the assault on free speech today, President Trump sent a video message to condemn the violence at the Capitol last week and to call again for peace. President Trump has condemned that violence now 8 times since the storming of that mob of the Capitol.
I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it.
And the president's supporters do not tolerate that mob and the violence and the death and destruction that it created. One of the president's greatest defenders in Congress is Congressman Jim Jordan. He has also condemned the riots at every turn. Here he is.
What happened a week ago, Lou, as we all know, we've all condemned it. It was tragic. It was terrible. It's as wrong can be. But it wasn't because of the president's speech. Be consistent, all of us. All of us need to be consistent and condemn the violence all the time. We should condemn all political violence all the time, when it happened last summer and when it happened last week. But they're going to impeach the president for saying peacefully and patriotically, make your voices heard. You got to hold the people who did these terrible things accountable. And the law enforcement and the Justice Department is doing just that. You know, people are responsible for their actions, and these terrible actions that were taken, they need to be held accountable and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Let's work together on condemning all violence all the time. Let's work together on bringing the country together. Let's work together over the next week through this transition.
It's a difficult transition, and attention is turning to the Senate now, where the impeachment trial of President Trump will not happen. And if it were to happen, it wouldn't happen until after he is out of office. Senator Tom Cotton says this, quote, "The Senate lacks constitutional authority to conduct impeachment proceedings against a former president." For the latest now on that, we turn to Fox News Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel with the latest. Mike?
Well, Lou, good evening. Some Democrats are concerned that battle over impeachment in the Senate could slow down confirmation of the Biden team, and leading Republicans say it would also delay healing.
But at the end of the day, you saw a lot of members who just said, this is enough. I mean, let's focus on turning the page. Let's focus on moving on. And that's going to happen next week on the 20th when Joe Biden's sworn in as president. This is only going to make matters worse in a country that's deeply, deeply divided right now.
President-elect Biden saying last night, quote, "I hope that the Senate leadership will find a way to deal with their constitutional responsibilities on impeachment while also working on the other urgent business of this nation. But it's not clear if the Senate rules will allow that. So some Democrats are suggesting putting the trial on the back burner."
If we can't, then maybe we delay the trial for a while so that we can actually get President Biden's nominees and cabinet up and running, and so that we can actually get a COVID relief package out the door immediately.
There's also the issue of President Trump no longer being in office. Several Republicans say there's a constitutional issue there, making the case impeachment is for removing people from office and not punishing private citizens. Bottom line, at a time when Joe Biden is eager to deliver results for the American people in his first 100 days, he is worried about it being slowed down and not moving. Lou?
Mike, thank you very much. Mike Emanuel from Capitol Hill. Thank you. Joe Biden obviously not so worried that he would speak against impeachment, as he has had the opportunity to do. Up next, we're learning about the threats of violent attack and refusing to act. The Bureau had knowledge, for example, of the 9/11 attacks, the Boston Marathon bombers. They also talked with the Pulse nightclub and Parkland High School shooters, and they recently investigated the home of the Nashville Christmas Day bomber. The incident most recent, the next most recent, that riot and mob that assaulted the Capitol last Wednesday. AT&T, CNN making quite a correction about the radical Dem Congressman Ted Lieu's actions during last week's Capitol protest. At the bottom of their reporting, titled "How a Swift Impeachment Was Born Under Siege," CNN now writes this, quote, "A previous version of this story misstated that Representative Ted Lieu grabbed a crowbar before leaving his office. He grabbed a Pro-Bar energy bar." Good old CNN. And here's a visual aid for our friends at CNN. Former Congressman, former Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, best-selling author, Fox Business contributor, and great American. Good to have you with us. His new book is "They Never Let a Crisis Go to Waste: The Truth About Disaster Liberalism." We recommend it to you highly, and you can pre-order the book right now. Correct? Is that correct, Jason?
Yes. Thanks, Lou. It is chock full of stories, and I think it will illuminate people as to how these liberals operate. They take a crisis, they use it as an excuse, and often the remedy has nothing to do with the crisis itself, but it's actually an opportunity to do things that they would never, ever get away with in any other setting, because they would never go through the normal constitutional process.
Well, let's talk about constitutional process, because it looks like the record of the radical left in this country, the radical Dems, is complete. They are going after a president for a second time. And let's be very clear, this is Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and now the vice president, the president-elect, Joe Biden, embracing impeachment against this president again. This is the president right now is declassifying secret documents that have been in many cases hidden from the public, and the FBI in particular stonewalling not only the public but Congress, the Senate, the president, and even the special counsel, it seems, about just how nefarious the scheme was against this president as first a candidate and as president. And we are led to believe that those documents are going to be explosive. We already know that the plot that was created by Hillary Clinton is what the FBI and other agencies acted out. The worst is yet to come. We're going to be talking with John Solomon about that very issue here tonight. You don't want to miss a word of it. Let me ask you this, Jason. We know that this mob broke away from the rally. This was at the end of the rally. People were going home. There's now evidence, and Gateway Pundit is among those with the video, showing a Black Lives activist, an Antifa activist, who was apparently bragging about having spurred on this effort to assault the Capitol. This is looking really very ugly. It was suspected. In point of fact, it may be proving the president is right once again. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no matter who it was, no matter their political persuasion, if you're beating up a police officer, you're intimidating the Capitol Police, you're breaking in, I want you to be arrested and prosecuted. I think Republicans have been wholly consistent on that. The president's been consistent on that. It is looking more and more like there is a big conspiracy behind this as well. Now, there are people that perhaps got caught up in the enthusiasm of what was going on there and their exuberance and misplaced that and doing something violent. That was totally fundamentally wrong, and they should be prosecuted. Yeah. But when you show up at this event in riot gear and you have zip ties and all of those things, you didn't just have a spontaneous reaction to some comments at a rally down the other end of the mall.
We know from video that one of them at least was an Antifa activist, and a well-known Antifa activists. We're going to have more on that later here in the broadcast as we develop the story. Your reaction to the idea that the left is so venal and so arrogant that they would create an article of impeachment for a president who didn't say one single insightful word in his speech on the mall whatsoever. And they didn't hold a hearing. They didn't have a debate. They just decided they were going to railroad the President of the United States again and dismiss all of that nonsense about hearings and due process. They always were just pretending due process, but they even dropped that pretense. Your reaction and how severe should be the penalty against the Democrat Party and its leadership?
Well, you need to vote. These people need to be voted out. I mean, these are the people who, Bill McGurn, I heard him speak. He made a comment. He said, you get in a fender bender and you have to go to court. You get more due process than the president of the United States got in this scenario. I read the resolution that was put forth to Congress. There is not a single quote of something that the president said. And believe me, if they had it, they would have used it. That was insightful or says to break the law or storm the Capitol or do anything like that. And it's shameful that they didn't get 100% of the Republicans to vote no. I'm disappointed in the 10 that voted yes, but, they did what they did.
It looks to me like the Republican Party is frankly at the precipice. When Kevin McCarthy, the minority leader, says the president is responsible for the violence at the mall, and at the Capitol, that's pretty sad. When the majority leader of the Senate, soon to be apparently minority leader Mitch McConnell, makes his remarks that were absolutely virulent and in my opinion ignorant, these are people who don't care about the party, the president. They don't care about the Constitution themselves, because they're acting in utter disregard of the president's right to loyalty from his party, from certainly the leadership of the party, or at least, the very least, how about some evidence that anything those two leaders in those two houses possessed to make their accusations? It's a horrible time. And look at they put Ronna McDaniel back as the chair of the Republican National Committee. She lost a president and she lost the Senate. What is going on in your party?
Well, I got to tell you, I think Rana did a pretty darn good job. They did lose those 2 Senate seats. I think there are some other factors along with that. There's not a single Republican in the House of Representatives running for re-election that lost their position. I think they did lose some votes on the impeachment side of the equation, but Kevin McCarthy voted no, the leadership voted no, and 95% of the Republicans in the House voted no. So, we've got to be a little bit careful. I do think there are some comments that the president...
Wait a minute. You said I've got to be careful? I'm very careful.
Well,
I'm very careful. I quoted them exactly as they spoke.
I know, but I'm saying...
I don't understand what you mean about be careful.
Well, I think if we make some sweeping generalizations about all people and all things in the entire party, I wouldn't necessarily agree with those, Lou. I've told you how I see it and how
That's all
I
right.
call
You
it.
can disagree with me.
There's got to be a degree of personal
And you don't even have to be
responsibility.
careful, Jason, when you disagree with me. It's your right as an American. I love free speech. Jason, we're out of time. We got a hard out. Thanks so much, Jason Chaffetz. Let's go straight to break and not make anybody, any producers, any angrier with me than they are. We'll be right back. Joining us tonight is Gordon Chang. He's columnist, author, senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute, great American. Great to see you, Gordon. Let's start, if we may, with Starbucks and Xi Jinping's call to Howard Schultz, to the former CEO and the founder of Starbucks. This is person-to-person foreign policy. It's sort of unusual. Can every CEO expect a call from Xi Jinping?
Well, many of them will get that because we know that corporate America, especially the multinationals and Wall Street, have been carrying Beijing's narratives. And we know what the Chinese themselves are thinking. They are thinking that they can determine outcomes at the top of the American political system with the new president coming in, with Biden. They have actually said in public, Lou.
And Howard Schultz is reciprocating. Listen to Howard Schultz, everybody, as he gives you a pretty clear idea of why Xi Jinping was delighted to talk with him.
Is it in our national interest to have a fight with Mexico, Canada, the EU, China, NATO? Is it in our interest? Give me a break. No, it's not in our interest. These are our friends. These are our allies. We're much better as a country being part of the world order.
China, a friend and an ally. I mean, Howard Schultz is being disingenuous. He's also lying through his teeth. We aren't in a fight with Mexico or Canada. We have a great new trade agreement as a result of this president. The same is true with our relationship with the EU now. It's your thoughts.
Yeah, well, Howard Schultz said was making up history. And the other thing is, in other comments he made, he was talking about the quote-unquote trade war and how bad it was. Well, it was important for President Trump to impose costs on China for stealing U.S. intellectual property to the tune of $500 billion a year, $600 billion a year. Mm-hmm. We don't hear that from corporate America, and we didn't hear it from Howard Schultz about how the president is defending the American economy.
And you know what we're not also hearing? We're not hearing about the FBI defending this country. We're hearing about the FBI becoming really a perpetual, residual for where truth goes to die. It's really awful what this agency has become. They arrested today an MIT thermal energy and nanoengineering professor, Gang Chen, arrested for failing to disclose his relationship and payment from the Chinese government while getting over $19 million in U.S. Government funding. This is appalling. We've got FBI agents crawling all over this country doing nothing. And by the way, we know 20 years ago there were 3,500 front companies in this country spying for the Chinese. And we know also there are 100 Confucius Institutes, as we were reminded by the Secretary of State. We don't know how many there are now, but I suspect it's the same number.
Yeah. You know, what's going on here is that China is using every point of contact with the United States to undermine our government. They worked very hard during the campaign to make sure that Biden won. They fomented violence on American streets, sending out videos on how to organize riots. That's more than subversion, Lou. That's an act of war.
Gordon Chang, as always, good to have you with us. Thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you soon. Next, a major update on the president's release of Obamagate classified documents. John Solomon joins me on the story here next. We'll be right back. Breaking news now. Just the news editor-in-chief John Solomon reporting President Trump has declassified major Obamagate documents. The president's sweeping order includes everything from dossier author, former MI6 agent Christopher Steele, and debriefing reports from Stephen Halper's role as FBI spy. The documents are expected to be released to the public as early as tomorrow or perhaps Monday. Joining us now is John Solomon, and he is also a great American and best-selling author. Good to have you with us, John. I want to turn to what we just reported here about 10 minutes ago, and that is that there is evidence that a left-wing activist was, in point of fact, an agitator in that mob that assailed the Capitol. I understand that you have reporting on this as well. Tell us what you will, please.
Yes, there is a new FBI affidavit filed in court today in which an FBI agent says John Sullivan of Utah, a liberal anarchist, liberal activist, was participating in the rally. He has been out there saying, listen, I was filming it as a journalist. I was there inside the Capitol as a journalist. The FBI says that is not true. He was participating in the acts, according to the FBI. He was encouraging people to light things on fire. He was encouraging people to take things. And the FBI recommends in their affidavit that he be charged with federal crimes. This is the first known person that the FBI has confirmed, a liberal activist, not a Trump activist, a liberal activist engaged in criminality inside the Capitol as part of last Wednesday's riots.
Video of Sullivan operating and also capsulizing his role and some braggadocio about how effective he was as a provocateur. That video, I know, is on a number of sites. Yours, it's on Gateway Pundit. I want to give them credit. It was the first that I saw. It is chilling to see what was going on. It is also very clear that we're going to have to wait some time before we should be making a headlong rush into a conclusion about that mob, because there are other videos out as well and you're reporting on this as well. I mean, we were watching Capitol Police open up stanchions and gates and fences that permitted mobs into mobs. They were, at that point, private citizens, it seemed, on their way to look at the Capitol. That turned into an outright vicious riot. So anyway, let's turn to the issue at hand, and that is the most important matter, I think, here tonight, and that is the president declassifying these documents on Obamagate, the spying conspiracy and plot and the actual effort to overthrow this president as a result. We now know that there are documents that exist that support the president and make liars out of so many who claimed that there was no spying, there was no effort to do exactly what they did.
You are 100% right. I can confirm. We were talking last night. Will the president deliver on this? One of the last remaining promises. He has delivered in a big way. More than a foot-high stack of documents he has authorized, released by the FBI and the Justice Department. These are the things that the FBI has tried to keep from the public for 4 years. They have amazing big picture revelations. And let's start with, I think, the most important one. Christopher Steele, in his debriefings with the FBI after he was fired for leaking, he told the FBI, the reason I leaked is because I needed to help Hillary Clinton cover up her email problem. So I leaked to turn the attention to Donald Trump. the Russia collusion narrative was invented to protect Hillary Clinton from ongoing revelations about her email scandal. It was a political dirty trick, and that was Christopher Steele's own words. People tomorrow, I believe, will get to see his words. I've been reporting on this privately. I haven't seen the declassified documents yet. Yep. But I'm telling you that my reporting, I know that's in the document. Similarly, Stefan Halper, the other informant, remember he's the guy that recorded Papadopoulos and Carter Page. Right. In his tasking orders, when the FBI is tasking him, my sources tell me from weeks and months of reporting on this, that he was told to spy on the Trump campaign. In fact, he was given a cover. Try to pretend you might want to get involved and get hired by the Trump campaign and then start talking to people and pump them from information. In anyone's book, that is spying. Remember, James Comey said it wasn't spying. The Democrats called it wasn't spying. This document, when it's released tomorrow or Monday, will blow out of the water any idea other than the FBI was spying on the Trump campaign. As early as August 16, the word Trump campaign was all over the FBI documents.
This is appalling. It's disgusting. Even as the Democrats have rushed into another farce of an impeachment. We're watching their first, which already has fallen apart. But now we know the criminal acts of a number of federal officers, whether they're in the State Department, whether they're in the FBI, whether they were working with the FBI. This is explosive stuff. And while they are attacking the president, once again, they will have to be defending their own wretched corruption. Do you agree?
You're right, Lou. I agree. And I'll tell you something that is going to become clear in these documents. The continuity and the connectivity between the Russia collusion false story that was planted in America for 3 years and the subsequent impeachment of the president in the beginning of 2020, enormous connectivity. In Christopher Steele's debriefing, he acknowledges that he got his primary subsource, the main guy who gave him all the bogus information, who later disowns it. When they go to the subsource, he disowns most of what's attributed to him in Steele's report. A star impeachment witness that the Democrats paraded around on camera was the person that connected Christopher Steele to that bogus witness, or to that witness who gave bogus information. That is going to be to see the continuity that really Russia, then Ukraine, and then whatever else happened. It's all interconnected. It's the same players time and again. And when we were having the proceedings, we were kept in the dark. We didn't know that witness had this connection to Christopher Steele. Important information about to be made public thanks to the president and his declassification decision.
Absolutely. And history, as the radical Dems wanted it to be written, even by their fellow travelers, it has just exploded. The truth is about to be presented to the American people, and when it is true, there will be quite a different view of a number of actors who worked against the interest of the nation and this president for over 4 years. John Solomon, we look forward to seeing you again soon, hopefully tomorrow evening, with more on the revelations on Obamagate, as the president has declassified those documents. Up next, rhinos in Georgia. Good evening, everybody. Dramatic new developments to report this evening. First, President Trump is declassifying top-secret documents, all related to Obamagate. That is the coordinated and years-long spying against a presidential candidate and ultimately the President of the United States and his administration, that of Donald J. Trump. We'll have the shocking details. Just the News Editor-in-Chief John Solomon will join us on this important story here this evening. And outrageous assault on free speech in this country by the radical left, by big tech, social media, Wall Street, and the left-wing media itself. President Trump released a video message in which he blasted big tech's efforts to silence him and his 75 million supporters.
I also want to say a few words about the unprecedented assault on free speech we have seen in recent days. These are tense and difficult times. The efforts to censor, cancel, and blacklist our fellow citizens are wrong and they are dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say at the moment, what's going on here? Hang on a minute. Let's go live then. Screen's blank. I don't know why. Right, okay. I'm going to say something right now. Here I am. No, I'm going to be gone again. Fuck it. Charlie Wald. Dr. Charlie Wald. I've looked on his website. He's not a doctor. He lies. He lies to people. It was talking about cufflinks the other day, right? About Donald Trump sending cufflinks. You can't buy them anywhere. It was sent as a gift. We can buy them on fucking eBay. Charlie Wald has turned around and told you that he's been invited to the inauguration for Donald Trump. Bullshit. Simon Parks. This man, Simon Parks, ladies and gentlemen, has professed to making a child with an extraterrestrial. Right? Look at what you're looking at. Look at what you're doing. I perceive my reality to be what I see in real time. In what I believe to be videos, photographs. I research. I do some shit. I don't believe these people that are trying to gain views and clicks, YouTube, making money. You are despicable cunts. David Steele, American, ex-CIA, kook. Dr. Charlie Wald, kook. He's not even a doctor. Believe it or don't believe it, go look on his website. It will tell you what he does. How the fuck is he a doctor? He did say, actually, on one of his videos, that person in Latin means mask wearer. No, it doesn't. Do it right now, ladies and gentlemen. No, it doesn't. It means homo, as in homo sapien. Latin, homo, person. It's a liar. It's a cheat. It's a thief. Simon Parks. What? Really? He is impregnated an alien. These are the people you're following. I'm sick and tired of the stupidity and utter fucking idiocracy that you people believe. You know what? Go on to one of Simon Parks, Dr. Charlie Wald's videos. Go on to the video where he got these cufflinks. Oh, you're so deserving, Charlie. Oh, it's so great. Oh, my God, Donald Trump done that for you. That's such a great thing. You know what we're dealing with? We're dealing with the indoctrination of the media on the TV that is now transcribed and transpired to be the internet. Because nobody does any fucking, no research whatsoever. They just believe what these people tell them. Charlie Wald, I'm calling you out. Dr. Charlie Wald, I'm calling you out. You're not even a doctor, you fat pompous cunt. Simon Parks, you absolute fucking cockwomble cunt. How fucking dare you try to lessen what you believe we are as a people by telling us that you've impregnated a fucking alien. And David Steele, my good God, I interviewed you on Motiv8 many years ago. What the fuck are you doing? There are many people out there like this, ladies and gentlemen, that just want clicks on a YouTube video to earn money. And the millions of views earn thousands of pounds. That's what goes on. I've never done that to any of you. I won't do it. I won't do it. These cunts. There are many more of them. Fucking QAnon. All of this bullshit shit that all of you are believing in. You know what? I'm going to say this to you. Hope is a wonderful thing if there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? Hope is a wonderful thing. Hope isn't such a wonderful thing if the tunnel, when you get to it, is a dead end. And the post I'm seeing at the moment, I've got a source, but I can't confirm. My source says this, but I can't confirm. Right? I can't stand it. It's beyond me. I earn no money from anything I do. In fact, I'm ridiculed and lambasted. My daughter, my wife, all of these things that go on. You saw the video the other day. Maybe not, because Facebook won't share it. They're going to pull us out of our house. They're going to rape and kill us. This is the left for you, ladies and gentlemen. I've got the police involved now because it's gone too far. And what? You got these cunts on YouTube. Well, I'm Dr. Charlie Ward. I'm on the inner circle, and because I'm Dr. Charlie Ward, I've been invited to the inauguration. No, you ain't, you fat fuck. No, you ain't. No, you've not been invited to the inauguration. You fucking lying fat pompous cunt. How dare you people give false hope to other people when there's no fucking light at the end of the tunnel? You know, I was going to wait until Saturday to do this, but you know what? I'll tell you what, someone set him up as a guest. Get him to message me. This Dr. Charlie Ward. He's not a doctor, he's a cunt. Simon Parks, cunt. David Steele, cunt. There are many more people across the internet that want to tell you something that they think you want to hear to earn clicks, to earn views, to earn money. These people are cunts. Absolute cunts. Maybe I should have been on camera for that. My veins are hanging a little bit. I'm fed up with it. I'm absolutely and utterly fucking fed up with it. You no good, despicable, taking money off of people that have got hope cunts. That's what you are. That is what you are. You're taking money from people in the hope that they have and turn it into what exactly? Nothing. Nothingness. You fucking liars. You regurgitate Q. You regurgitate these other people that are putting out these posts. I've got this source here. My auntie's uncle's father's brother's fucking dog has said this. I can't substantiate it. I can't fucking corroborate it. But even so, because it is what it is, you must believe it. And people are sharing this shit. I'm done. I am fucking done. Do you understand? I'm fucking done. We've got until Tuesday for Donald to do something. And I don't believe in fucking QAnon and the other bullshit that goes on. I believe in nothing of this fucking absolute crap. You know, I had someone tell me the other day, QAnon did never ever say that Barack Obama was in Guantanamo Bay. Yes, he fucking did. Yes, Q did. This 4 times quantum fucking computer, according to Simon Parks. You're all bullshit. You're all cunts. And I'm going to call you out for the fucking fraudulent cunts that you are. That's what I'm going to do. Because, listen, I can see over the last 4 years of the presidency, over sexual misconduct, over the Russian dossier, over fake Russian dossiers being brought about by one person, I can see what the left are doing. And I can make my own assumptions as to what I believe is going on. I don't need to be told by Dr. Charlie Ward that he's been invited to the inauguration of Donald Trump on the 21st because Biden isn't going to get in. You're a cunt. You can't tell me that that man's got fucking cufflinks that were sent straight from Donald Trump, and all of the comments underneath his video were, oh, you're so deserving, oh Charlie, we're going to suck your fucking ring piece. Go onto eBay, bosh, 50 quid. You can buy the same things for 50 quid. He's a fucking liar. He's a liar. Simon Parks is a liar. What are you getting about? You know, I'm so gutted that you all lot, it's getting beyond ridiculous now, because if we thought the TV was indoctrinating people, we've moved on from that. And these people that follow these people on the fucking internet now can't even do their own research and go, oh, cufflinks. Oh, no, he's a liar. No, you just believe every fucking word of it, you utter fucking simpleton fucks. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Seriously. What the... Charlie Ward. Fucking hell. Simon Parks. David Steele. Fucking call me on Saturday and we'll see what goes on. You fraudulent cunts. Cunts! I'm fed up with you. All of these people earning money out of other people's hope and fucking despair. Clicks, clicks, clicks. Watch a video, watch a video. Fucking earn money. Million views, £40,000 or whatever it might be. I don't know what the fucking... I don't know how you'd calculate that. I don't know what it is. But you're earning fucking money out of people's misery. You absolute no good shit cunt fucks. I hate you, Charlie Ward. I hate you, Simon Parks. I hate you, David Steele. And any other cunt that puts out false hope to the worldwide collective that are hoping Donald Trump's going to do something. I'm hoping he's going to do something over what I've seen. Not because I follow Q, or follow David Steele, or Charlie fucking Ward, Dr. Charlie Ward apparently, or fucking Simon Parks. They can go fuck themselves. I've seen their videos. It's bullshit. But look at the views they get. Look what's going on here at the minute. How many people have got watching now? 49 people. And we're talking the truth now. You know what? Go fuck yourselves. Go and believe in these cunts and go and give them money. I'll speak to you later. 49 people, and we're talking the truth now. You know what? Go fuck yourselves, go and believe in these cunts, and go and give them money. I'll speak to you later.
Questa